Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. My name's 3-Chord Dave. Today we're going to talk about a Chibson Murphy Lab heavy aged guitar I bought recently, but has changed since I bought it. Yes folks, we are of course going to talk about that Chibson in just a moment, but first let me say thank you to all of those beautiful people who have hit that subscribe button. It's just right there, it's just right there. Just hit the button. You'll be like my friend or something. Make sure you hit the notification bell and choose all notifications. That tells YouTube you love me and that I should be shared with other people. That's not what love is about. Anyway, so hit the two things and let's do that. Just want to remind you as well real quick, we've got 3-Chord Dave live coming up on September the 25th. That's next Saturday, 10 p.m. Irish time. So I don't know the times around the world, but I'll try and figure that out for you and put it out on my channel during the week. But what we're going to do is have some chats, some banter. We're going to talk about guitars and music and beards and all kinds of things for about an hour on Saturday evening. So it's Saturday the 25th September, 10 p.m. right here on YouTube. And there might be some giveaways and stuff. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, let's get talking about Chibsons. Yeah, so a few weeks ago, I bought a Chibson Murphy Lab heavy aged guitar. I did a video about it up here. It was a very popular video. In fact, the most popular video I've ever made on YouTube. So the guitar was bound to make a repeat appearance. However, this might be the last one. So let's talk about that guitar real briefly. So it was, as I said, a Murphy Lab. And yes, it was advertised as a Murphy Lab heavy relic'd guitar. Had all the finish checking and all kinds of scrapes and scratches and all sorts of stuff. So they sent it to me. It was 250 euros to get to my door. It took 3 months to arrive from China, which was a long ass time. In fact, I was requesting a refund before it just appeared one day, which is unusual because usually you get like a request for taxes, what do you call them, import taxes and stuff. But none of that, it just arrived at my front door and it was like, where did this come from? Anyway, if you remember the video, there was some, I mean, look, some of the relicing looked okay and some of it was weird. There was a couple of mystery stains, which you should check out the mystery stains in that video alone because they were weird. But they're gone now and the guitar looks like this. And we'll go through it in just a moment. As you can see, went with a blue and gold design. Gibson, if you're out there. This is the 3-Chord Dave signature model design. It's got a matching headstock. It's got the blue with the gold stripe. It's got some gold Telecaster style knobs because, you know, why not mix it up? And we've got some other stuff which we'll go through in just a moment. Now, my thought process on this all along was that it was going to be pretty much a guitar that sat in a corner, an instrument that was an ornament, because essentially it wasn't a great guitar to play. It didn't feel nice in the hand to play, and the whole mystery stain thing, no thank you. So I decided I would do something about it. And listen, I know there was a lot of people out there requested to have the guitar. They were like, will you please send me that guitar for free? And I was like, no. So I didn't. I decided I'd make a project out of it. And I did. So one Saturday I got the sanding tool out. It's called a sander, and I went to town on it and I took the finish off it. I took all the parts off it, I took the pickups out, everything. Now let me tell you, the pickups were crap. They were probably the worst pickups I've ever seen. The magnets can barely hold anything, so you know they're not very good. Yes, I completely took the pickups apart to take out the magnets. And then the pots were the tiniest pots that I've ever seen in my life. They just went straight in the bin. I should have photographed them or something, but no, they were terrible. They were literally so small, I didn't actually believe they would work. They kind of worked, but you know, they weren't good. So got rid of those, decided new pickups were needed. I decided the tuners were terrible, so new tuners were needed as well. So the bridge and the tailpiece were fine, so I kept them. They're the ones that are on it right now. The knobs were fine, but they had scuffed them up and I didn't want completely a scuffed up look. And also they weren't going to match my color design, so I was getting rid of them anyway. They might go on another guitar in the future, but I decided to go with these knobs here. They're kind of Telecaster style knobs, the knurled knobs as they're known, and they were from Harley Benton. They cost €3.90 each. So that was 4 of them. That totally cost me 16 euros for those. I also got a gold jack plate to put on there. That was another 4 euros. So far, if you're counting, we're up to 20 euros spent. I got a black Graphtec nut. That cost a tenner. So we're up to 30. And then here comes the big expenses. And the most expensive thing I bought was the Harley Benton tuners. Now these are locking tuners and they're gold. They're not proper gold, obviously, but they were 55 euros from Harley Benton, or from Thomann, I should say. So they work pretty well, actually. They're really, really good. I like them a lot. And in fact, I've already started taking them off. There's no screw in here because, and that's why they're all kind of all over the place, because they are good tuners, but the guitar's got a problem I'm going to tell you about in a moment. The other thing I bought was pickups, and these are Pro Bookers. Yes, Epiphone Pro Booker pickups. And I know, some of you are going to say, but didn't you say Pro Bookers are crap when you made the Slash Epiphone video? And I didn't. What I said was, for the price of the guitar, there should be better pickups in those guitars, and it's a pet peeve of mine that Epiphone cheaped out on that, because they should have had burst bookers. But anyway, the Pro Bookers right here. Now these came from AliExpress. Everything is branded. The pickup switch is branded, the pots are branded, and the pickups themselves are branded Epiphone. I did check out on YouTube as well. Lots of people have bought Epiphone Pro Bookers from AliExpress, and the general consensus is they're genuinely Pro Bookers. So went ahead with that. Guess how much they cost me? $42, which basically worked out around 35 euros on the day. And that means that in total I spent about 120 euros on parts for this guitar. Add that to the 240 I paid for the guitar itself, and in total I paid entirely too much. But anyway, it's, you know, it looks nice, kind of. So it's fine. I don't cry about it. It's okay. The pickups, as I said, are fine. They actually work really well, but they're coming out of this guitar, as are the tuners and everything. And the reason why is a massive issue with the guitar. Now, one of the things I realized after I made the last video was that the neck is not straight. So I was like, okay, well, when I'm doing everything, I'll straighten the neck. But I can't, because there's no truss rod. There's no truss rod in the neck. So the neck is now permanently just out of shape. And yeah, it's not straight, and there's no way to straighten it. So all these parts are going to probably find a new home. In fact, at some point, I will just keep them in a parts drawer and tinker with some stuff. I think I might buy a Harley Benton soon, I think, and throw the Pro Bookers into it. I think that's worthwhile. And also, these locking tuners from Harley Benton are going to come in handy down the line anyway, so that's all going to be good there. Now, so if you're wondering about paint as well and how that came to be, well, this is just spray paint. It's just Rust-Oleum metallic blue here on the body. The gold stripe is just Crafter's gold paint. Now that was Rust-Oleum as well, and it came in a smaller can, so I needed 2 cans of that. And then I also bought a nitrocellulose lacquer from Northwest Guitars. I think it was Northwest Guitars in the UK. They shipped that over to me. It cost about 20 euros. Altogether, everything all in, it did cost me about 450 euros for this lovely ornament that's going to be against my wall. And it being what it was, I don't have proper facilities to paint the guitar, so it was painted in a garden shed and left overnight and stuff for coats to dry, and it was fine. But look, as you can see, it looks nice from a distance, from where you are there, but there are some issues. You know, there was a big streak down the back, down the neck when it happened. I did try and do stingers, but kind of miscalculated here and there. And as you can see, if you can see the headstock, there was a little bit of overrun everywhere. It does say 3-chord customs, and this is the Dave model, obviously. But overall, I'm quite happy with it as a standalone ornament. You know, I love guitars and I always want to have them near me. So this will probably just be an office ornament. It was in the back of Zoom calls this week and people were like, oh, that looks awesome. So I'd love to know your thoughts on it. And let me tell you, just before we get into all that sort of stuff, your thoughts about this guitar, if you're going to buy a Chibson, just be aware. Number 1, it might take a long time to arrive. Number 2, when it arrives, check if there's a truss rod. Because look, the companies who you deal with, DHgate or AliExpress, they will look after refunds for you if you can prove there's something wrong with it. And I didn't check in time. So it's like 6 weeks later when I found out that there's no truss rod, they were like, no, dude, you should have reported that straight away. So I couldn't do anything, but I'm going to keep it as an ornament anyway. Stripping the paint off and everything else, it took a lot of sanding and a lot of grit and elbow grease to get it there, but it did It did strip down to the bare wood, and the bare wood itself seemed fine to work with. I'm pretty sure if I wanted to do anything else with it, it would have been perfectly fine to do that. But when I did get it down to the very bare wood, I decided it didn't look great enough to keep like a stain on the back, which was my original plan, and I was just going to paint the front. So that's why we got all the stuff on the back. And, you know, it's not perfect, the back. I think maybe I rushed the job and I didn't kind of plan it out too well, whereas the front was always going to look like this. So happy with the front, and that's what most people are going to see. Anyway, as I said, I'm going to probably take the pickups out though. I'm going to take the tuners off, and it's going to be something that sits in the corner. And no, you can't have it. It's mine. So, but anyway, the thing is, look, the Murphy Lab Chibsons, they're not worth it because, as I said, the guitar, well, look, not everyone is going to come with no truss rod, but the finish on it was not great. The mystery stains are a bit worrying, and I can pretty much confirm they don't measure up to Murphy Lab guitars in terms of the look. So if you're into that relic'd look, it doesn't really do it for me. For me, it was like a poor attempt of doing something, you know. But hey, maybe you're into that. Maybe you want to try it for yourself. They're available on DHgate and AliExpress and all that sort of stuff. But anyway, I just thought I'd show you the changes. As I said, the ornament's going to go find a place now to live the rest of its life once I take all the parts back out of it. I hope you enjoyed checking it out. What do you think of the design? Never mind the fact that it's not perfect. The blue and the gold. Why haven't Gibson done this? And if they come out with it in the next year, then they should credit me, right? Anyway. Anyway guys, thank you very much for joining me. It's been a pleasure. I hope you enjoyed checking out what I've done to this Chibson Murphy Lab guitar. Maybe I'll do something else with it in the future, who knows. Anyway, thanks for joining me. It's been a pleasure. You take care, and I'll see you next week for 3 Chord Dave Live.